Welcome to Light Bearers, a place where transformation happens through the power of the Word of God and His love. At Light Bearers, we are passionate about the life-changing power of God. We believe that it has the power to transform lives, to bring hope and healing, to reveal the truth that sets us free. As it says in the book of Psalms, the entrance of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. Join us as we experience God's glory and become changed into His likeness.
Aside your willingness to change and the decisions that you've made to improve the quality of your life in a consistent, using a consistent pattern, there's something that we usually overlook, and that's the power of daily routines. In this podcast, I'm going to be expounding on the law of compound effect. You've probably heard this before, that little things cause a greater effect when it is done consistently. That's the whole idea of the law of compound effect, that every decision you make daily has a way of affecting your overall productivity. There's power in daily routines, the capacity for you to schedule things or break down your tasks into daily, like a sequential arrangement of the things that you have to do daily. Now, there's a pattern that growth follows. If you pay attention, you understand that pattern that growth follows. When it comes to eating, you find out that we do that every day, and we may eat different things for different days just because of our taste and our desire for varieties. But consistent to the pattern of growth is the capacity for you to do it daily. It's a routine. So you wake up in the morning, you eat what we call breakfast, lunch, dinner, and repeat. To a point where if you skip a meal, the effect of that meal will start showing on your body. That's how powerful the pattern of growth is. And that same principle, that same pattern of routine is also needed in your overall productivity when it comes to your skill, when it comes to your career, when it comes to business. That if you do not break your tasks daily into smaller forms where you can achieve them daily with delegated time, you'll find out that the overall effect of not doing it for months, for weeks, for years will have a negative effect on your overall productivity. The power of daily routines, and this is the idea of the law of compound effect. The law of compound effect, releases or brings to understanding the effect of doing things consistently, the overall effect of doing things consistently, and also the consequences of not doing things consistently. You've probably heard this, that if you fail to plan, you have planned to fail. As simple as that principle is, it's true. That not planning is planning to fail. Planning is planning to succeed. That the best way to anticipate the future, the best way to hope for the future is to design the future that you desire. And this is the idea. The idea is for you to break down the things that you want to do daily. For instance, I want this podcast to be as simple as possible, something that you can achieve that is practical, that is not so complex, something that you can hold on to and increase your productivity daily, weekly, and monthly. It takes 60 seconds for us to have 1 minute. It takes 60 minutes for us to have 1 hour. It takes 7 days for us to have 1 week. The subtle idea that yesterday does not count is not actually correct. The reason why we have today is because there was yesterday. This is the idea of the law of compound effect, that today's laziness will add up to tomorrow's productivity. Today's discipline will add up to tomorrow's productivity. Now, I've heard this countless times mentoring people, and they say, sir, routines are boring, right? Doing things consistently again and again and again, not changing the pattern, but doing things especially when you have found out that it's important, something like eating, right? And they usually say it's boring. But this is the pattern of growth, that if growth is going to be achieved, then there must be a sequence, a pattern of consistency, the law of compound effect. That if you add up your whole discipline for the day, you add up your whole disciplines for the week, your discipline for the month, it has a way of compounding into your overall productivity. It's important. Life follows this principle of the law of compound effect, right? You cannot write JAMB until you are done with secondary school. You cannot become a doctor until you go to medical school, and you have levels even in that medical school. They don't certify you as a doctor in level 4 or level 5. You wait until the day you're done, level 7, before you are certified. So that's the power of the law of compound effect. That until the day you write your final exam, you are not certified as a medical doctor. Now, there are basic principles that you must understand. Number one, there's a law in sales management that do not major on the minor and minor on the major. I repeat, do not major on the minor and minor on the major. The idea is this: you must know the tasks that you want to achieve daily and write them down with dedicated time. Remember, any time that you do not plan, right, is time wasted. It's powerful, and you will not outgrow this. When you wake up in the morning, write down the tasks that you want to, and this teaching, this podcast is for those who already have their goals, their visions. It's not even possible for you to understand the law of compound effect if, number one, you're not someone who has decided to grow. Number two, you're not someone who is willing to change, meaning the willingness to let go of your old self for your new self, the willingness to migrate to regions of growth and understanding. You may not understand this law at all. So this law of compound effect is for those who have written down their goals and want to see it achieved, right? To translate their goals into productivity. Let's say, for instance, you are learning a skill and you put in 1 hour daily for that skill, to learn that skill. You have the knowledge, right? You've gathered the knowledge, but it takes discipline for you to convert that knowledge into understanding. And let's say you put 1 hour daily. The productivity you are going to get will be directly proportional to the time that you give to that skill. It's very important for you to know this. Remember, when you eat your rice, whatever you eat, you don't tell that substance to grow you. All you need to do is to eat and keep eating, and the substance knows exactly what to do. This is the same thing with exposing yourself with the right knowledge of interest, not just knowledge of interest that is associated with the goals that you've set. So it's important what you do daily. The whole year is a summation of your daily activities. Your productivity for the whole week is a summation of your daily activities. It's important that every second counts, every minute count. So back to what I was saying on don't major on the minor and don't minor on the major. We spend a chunk of our time on things that do not affect our value or our productivity. For instance, someone who sleeps 16 hours a day, sleeping is good, right? But you are majoring on the minor. What amount of time would you need for you to be efficient in your skill? You need to sit down to think about it. Number one. Number two, what is the cost of being or of gaining mastery over what you are learning? These two things must be in your mind. The cost effect of timing, the cost effect of discipline, the cost effect of separation, the cost effect of planning. So, it's simple. The power of daily routine comes when you learn how to plan your day. For instance, you wake up by 6 a.m. You pick up your sticky note. I would advise you get a sticky note. You pick up your sticky note or you pick up your journal and say, hey, let's say for instance your name is David, and you say David is going to do A, B, C, and D by 1 p.m. David is going to do A, B, C, and D by 2 p.m. As simple as this sound and as basic as it sound, this is how you improve the quality of your day. Now, for a believer, there are 3 distinctive areas that you must pay attention to. There are many other areas of your life, but there are 3 distinctive areas you must always pay attention to. Every day given to you must a huge chunk of your time must be spent on these 3 areas. Number 1, your relationship with God. It's important that you invest quality time and plan the time. Your relationship with God will need investment of time, investment of attention, investment of discipline, investment of staying to know God, to hear God, to know His ways. Number 2, your assignment. You must spend a huge part of your time developing or becoming the man for your assignment. And if you don't know your assignment yet, then you pray for your assignment. Very powerful, so that you know the exact things you need to spend time on. Number 3, your skill. It's important you develop a skill. Now, you'll see that your assignment is different from your skill, right? We are mandated. If value is what you want to exchange, if you want to become someone who would exchange value for reward, then you need a skill. There's no superstition to it. The marketplace is not emotional. Of course, it can be biased, but not emotional. The idea is this, that in the marketplace, the language that the marketplace understands is value. And I'm speaking to those who are in career, those who are building their skill, those who probably work in an office and you're trusting God for promotion. I'm saying that it's not going to be based on emotions. You must know what it takes for you to scale up. And every day given to you is for you to develop these areas of your life. So number 1, your relationship with God. Number 2, your assignment and becoming the man for that assignment. Number 3, your skill. Number 4, family, relationships. These are areas of your life that you must invest time in. So you can't spend 13 hours on Netflix watching movies, and it's not bad, but you can't spend a huge chunk of your time watching things or investing in things that will not affect your overall productivity. It's important for you to know this. It takes time to translate the things that you desire into manifestation. It takes time to translate the things that you desire into manifestation. So what can you do? Practical example. John wakes up in the morning. John plans his day. around these 4 areas: his relationship with God, his assignment, his skill, the skill that you are developing right now. You should have a skill. You should have a skill. Number 4, relationships. People who are who play a huge role in your life. Family. So when you delegate your time into these areas, right, you'll find out that you've spent a huge part of your life investing in things that you are going to gain rewards for in the future. For instance, let's pick your skill. Every level you desire is looking for a certain height of excellence. How well do you know your skill? And I know you're praying to God for open doors, and perfect, good. But how well do you know your skill? How much time are you willing to give into developing your skill? 2, it takes daily routines, right? Effective daily routines to change your overall productivity.